what is your definition of what a hoe is? What is a hoe?
Well, I mean, it's not gonna be like this. It's not gonna be that simple as addition. Where
it's gonna be simple.
It's not gonna be that simple as addition. Where
it's gonna be simple.
Nothing, men. No, nothing like that.
It's gonna be simple. What is your definition?
Of a hoe?
Some guy says it's being promiscuous. Some guy say you take money. Some guy says if you just cheat. So it's like each body has their own different definition of what a hoe is.
I would probably be like a culmination of
this. Okay, so tell me what is it?
Well, I mean, for me, like it's in addition to like being like super naive about things.
And being naive.
Yeah, like they'd be like, oh man, he said he weren't gonna like do me dirty or nothing like that, and it's like, bitch.
So that's a hoe because if you're naive.
Well, I mean, it's like if you just go out, you're like, man, they ain't gonna treat me like how they treated their last girlfriend or their last baby mama.
I think that's just being naive. I don't know.
I'll sleep with them. They gonna stay with me. It's like, bro, that's 16 dudes you don't been with now.
That's just being stupid.
You said he was your whole world. Why you got a whole solar system out here? Come on, like, what we doing?
But again, that's just being stupid. I don't know if I would quantify that as being a hoe.
You still doing it when
you mean qualifying it as being a hoe, not quantifying, but
for me, it's someone like. I think for me, it's just like, okay, you're with someone, but you still talking to some other dudes. You know, you still sucking someone's.
You're saying if she's talking to someone and she's like also messing with other guys.
Yeah.
So you're saying if she's in a serious relationship with this one person.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand. I can kind of.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
I can agree with that one. But you said that.
I was gonna say it's multiple things. That was just like that's like one sort of thing about it. Like
I know, but you're saying yours is like a combination of all things.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like part of that, and then I mean I wouldn't be like, oh, they sleep with a lot of people because I don't really ever be happy.
Promiscuity.
Actually, no. If you sleep with a lot of people, definitely, I think it gets to a certain point like why?
Yeah.
What you're doing? Because like because some dudes be like, bro, he be like, some dudes they'll be like, yo, girly, whatever, like talk about it's like something. I don't remember somebody was talking about. They were like, you shouldn't sleep with so many people because like you should be expecting to get pregnant every single time. It's like how many people have you slept with? The guy's like 30. It's like, were you expecting to have 30 kids? They were like, no. But it's like to me, he's still a hoe.
Yeah, but well, at least from your perspective, I understand that. But what I'm saying is like, for me, I quantify a hoe as being like you want something in exchange for sex.
Yeah, but you're going off that orthodox definition. Remember we talked about it one time?
Yeah, I'm going off the Merriam-Webster definition. A prostitute, a whore, you accept money or you accept clout for sex. That's my.
You're going off clout now, like Instagram followers and shit. That counts. We're counting that as a
social clout or something sort.
We're counting that as a currency in exchange, though?
That's definitely a currency.
That's a currency.
That's definitely a fucking currency.
Currency in fucking high school, especially high school, when you try and be like.
Cool. I didn't know we were accepting that as a thing. So
I can't think of her name, but the woman who was
Selena.
Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm talking about. Who was just having sex with not even necessarily just having like intercourse, but more so just giving blowjobs to people.
She was getting trains ran on her by NBA players at the hotel that nobody was allowed to get into.
Exactly. It's more so about.
They really want her to be in there. Oh wow. She's not even attractive.
It's more so about It was more so. I don't know if she was necessarily trying to get clout off of that. But you have to know that you messing with this many people and who are this reputable or like this well known could like lead to you being categorized in that way.
That's why I say like it kind of has to do with being naive because it's like
I don't think it has to be to do with being naive.
Well, I mean like sort of like the point
you can be attentional, baby, with being a hoe.
Well, not
like that. Like a group of people already know that you're a cum dumpster. That
what is a cum dumpster though?
Well, I mean that's what I was saying. Like sort of like it's like if a guy's like, yo, me and all my friends like here, we trying to see if you gonna come through. What do you really think they was gonna do? You think they was all just gonna go watch some movie with you?
No, she knew what was up. She knew what was up.
You knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah, but I'm more so saying that you being promiscuous and you having sex with lots of people doesn't necessarily qualify you as a hoe or make you categorize you in that put you in that category. Because again, men are very promiscuous. They're just as promiscuous as women. Maybe even more so.
I was gonna say maybe even more. You know, Wilt Chamberlain and
Wilt Chamberlain was a fucking celebrity.
What was the guy from Playboy? Hugh Hefner. You know, they
profited off of sex.
They put that over the edge.
Well, he profited off of sex.
Had those two guys never been alive, I'd be like, women do it more, but because of Wilt Chamberlain. Then again, 80% of guys who have I don't want to like give like a certain body count because that'll offend like people. But if it's like 80% of guys who have a body count of like over like 10. Mm-hmm. They're doing it just to be able to brag about it to other guys.
I don't necessarily think so. I think people just enjoy sex. You don't. There's people. There's women who just have sex. They just have sex. They don't talk about what they did with the other person or what they want.
That's why I said 80% of dudes, not 100. I feel like most dudes I've ever met, when they talk about their body counts and all that, they're kind of just doing it to seem cooler or more manly to other dudes, and it's like that's
I understand that,
kind of odd.
but I think sometimes people like. Well, I can't even use celebrities as an example because they'll definitely brag about that shit.
Name one. Name one.
I'm saying celebrities do.
I was like, I thought you were like about to name like a specific one.
Oh no.
I was just curious who you were.
I have one in mind, but Drake.
Oh.
Like he kind of brags about his body count. He doesn't do it like explicitly, but you can tell like what he's trying to get into.
I don't know. I feel like Drake low key like a bitch behind doors. He'd be tired of shit. He'd be like, I love you, give me a kiss. And he don't be on no like player shit like YG or something.
What I'm saying is he presents himself as that way. He tries to present himself in that way in music.
I mean, he just call himself lover boy, so.
I feel like he'd be crying behind closed doors.
Yeah, of course.
Right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so like that's what I mean. I feel like a little different.
But again, like so does body count matter? That's an interesting question as well. I don't think it does. But then you also go into the thing where you said if
I think it depends on the context.
The reason I was going into it saying that is because as soon as you said that, what if she's a cum dumpster? So I was like, what is a cum dumpster? Is that someone who's just had sex with peaceful people, or is that someone who's been in multiple orgies, or someone who's been in threesomes? And like, would that be weird? Because what if you were in that situation as well?
I mean, I would just say this, just to, if somebody had like, I don't know what's considered like a high body count, but if they had that and it's like, oh, I was young, I was having fun, I wouldn't want to be with that person, not because of that, but because they're just now thinking settling down and being older is boring.
Oh,
and this is like, oh, well, I just got to now settle down because this is what I've been told I was gonna do after having fun. It's like at that point, I don't feel like they.
You think they're not seeing the value of what in marriage? You're just think they're just doing it because it's what society's expecting them to do.
Yeah, and then like also like some people, I feel like you have like a certain like number, and not just to go based off number, but sort of like attitude, lifestyle, and all that. It's sort of hard to say like if they're like super hypersexual and this is just how they are as a person. You know, we get busy as adults. You know, life gets super stressful sometimes. What's gonna happen at that one point where it's like, no, I don't want to have sex. Well, what about the next day? I also don't want to have sex.
Okay.
What about for the next week or the next month? It's like, how do you know they're not gonna?
That's tough.
You know, they're not so hypersexual to that point where it's like, well, I don't want to have sex, or they're like, well, I'm gonna find somebody that does, and that's sort of like they care more about sex than like.
But you're kind of presenting the argument that people are sex fiends.
No, well, not sex fiends, but just more like people who, because like you know, like in our generation, a lot less people are getting married or settling down, and that's what I mean. Like, would I want to be with somebody like that? It's hard to tell. Like, what are they prioritizing? Because some people do prioritize sex over relationships, or like that's like something that's very important. It's like that's the fence. Because if somebody doesn't prioritize sex, it's kind of like they wouldn't exactly have like a high body count, or depending on. Again, it kind of depends. Like, what are we saying as a number? Are we defining it in a certain amount of time? That's what I mean. So I'm saying like it's kind of hard to tell, but like in those kind of scenarios, I'd be like no, because they might not see a relationship or love the way that I would. That's what that makes sense.
I understand what you're saying.
I need to get a girl's perspective on this shit, to be honest with you.
I think. So what do you think you would get from a girl's perspective?
And I would, you know, I got called hoe all the time in high school. I ain't never slept with none of them little nasty ass girls. So I want to know, like, what do we really call the hoe from a girl's perspective then? I'm really curious.
I'm pretty sure they say the same thing that guys do. You sleep around, you're a hoe.
I'm like, how am I a hoe then?
But again,
I'm really gonna start texting girls I went to high school with, be like, yo, how was that hoe? Huh?
Because you talk to this girl and that girl and this girl, but like,
what?
Because that's
Who
what they.
cares?
That's what they're going.
Who?
Exactly.
I want to sleep with them.
That's how.
I want to sleep with them. That don't count.
Exactly.
Texting don't count. My texted body count. That's not the same as sex body.
But again, what I'm saying is like they see the same thing from your perspective. So like how you kind of qualify being a hoe, they qualify guys in that same way.
Texting don't count.
But again, some guys think texting counts, some girls think texting counts. So it's like how you qualify being a hoe is based upon other factors.
If you going through your hoe phase from fucking, it's different than going through your hoe phase of just like texting a lot of people. Like that's the difference.
So is promiscuity considered being a hoe, or is it just you saying that's a combination of different things like being naive?
I'm saying it's super complex. I think it's like sort of like a bi case or like bi person kind of thing.
I don't think it's that complex. I think people just have this thing where like they want people to fit inside their own categories of what they believe it to be. for me, it's just like if you exchange money for sex, or if you exchange.
Oh no, I would say this.
That's my definition of
let's say we were like, oh, they got 40 bodies or something like that.
I wouldn't call them a hoe.
That's like, you know what I mean? Like some people are like, oh, that's a lot. Well, it's like, well, maybe they just happen to get into relationships, boy or girl, getting into a relationship with boy or girl.
With 40 people.
And with 40 people, and they just happen to
break up with every single one of them.
No, like that person happened to break up with them because like they just happened to be with some shitty people. Because you know, some people they be like, man, I fucked that person. They be like, nah, I'm looking for somebody. This pussy has a lock on it, and the only key to it is the relationship. And then they're like, well, I'm gonna get a relationship with you real quick. And
just
then
so I can,
that's what I mean. So it's like that. That's kind of different than like, you know, other kind of scenarios. That's why I feel like it depends, right? Because like if a guy's like, I got 100 bodies, and like he's still in college, I'd be like, I don't think somebody should want to settle down with you because. Again, I feel like you prioritize sex and like that idea.
But again, what if he's just single and he's just having sex with lots of people? Why does it matter if he's having sex with 100 people?
When you have sex with 100 people, that's like it's like how do you really know that they even care about things beyond sex?
If you have sex, what does that mean? Sex is not something. Well, sex can be an emotional experience, but what I'm saying is like sex in college.
I'm saying if you care about that's what is it? Exactly. If you care about that sympathetic orgasmic release so much, it's like how do you know that you won't choose that like over somebody if they decide no, I don't want to have sex?
Because again, like I don't think it becomes an addiction like that where you're trying to kind of like qualify that as like kind of like an addiction that you place it over everything else.
Then why do people cheat in relationships?
Why do people cheat in relationships? Because they get bored of.
They don't fucking work out.
They get bored of it. But again, that's a matter of cheating. That's not a matter of promiscuity.
I'm saying like some people have high like they think about sex a lot. They like want to have sex a lot. I'm saying like that moment that.
What I'm saying is like sex is the way that they release their emotions, but sex isn't the. What I'm trying to say. How I say this. People cheat because they want emotional validation outside of what their situation that they're in. So they do it through a physical act. It's something they can do quickly and doesn't require them to see this person all the time. They can just.
Well, that's not like 100% of people that cheat. That's what I'm saying. Like things.
But I'm saying
things are always like they're like kind of like case by case.
I'm saying that like
person by person.
I'm saying like the way men cheat, it's kind of like that, where we're not. They don't. There's some men. I won't say that there's definitely cases
for
where.
Me personally, all my friends, if they ever cheated, it was nothing about emotional validation. It was just like, yo, she doesn't want to have sex. We ain't been having sex in a while. I'm finna go get it somewhere else. And that's what I mean. It's like, well, how?
But it's kind of like emotional validation or comfort. They want something to be comforted by, so they find it in something else that's physical.
I literally said, bro, why you're cheating on her like that? He said, bro, he's like, I was dry for a while. I'm like, damn, like that's all that matters. He was like, yeah, and that's what I mean. Like this is like coming from my general consensus of like where all my friends was hoes. All my family members, hoes. Me, not a hoe though.
Oh.
And so that's what I mean. You know, it's like I asked my cousin. I was like, what happened? He was like, oh, you know, cheating, having a relationship. I was like, who cheated first? He was like, well, she got caught first. I was like,
oh my god, no.
I was like, why you cheating?
Let me qualify. Okay.
Let me I was like, why are you cheating on her?
Let me exclude all the negative stereotypes, like the negative people. Or stereotypes like people who cheat. I'm saying that a person who has good intentions, he doesn't bother anybody. He's just staying to himself. He happens to be a good person. He happens to be getting some ladies as well too. He's just having sex with people, and he just staying to himself. He's not leading these women on to say that, hey, I want a relationship with you. He's like, no, when you come over here, you know what this is. You know we're having sex. We might chill, we might kick it, but we're not doing a relationship. She understands this. He understands this, and he just happens to have that kind of relationship with a lot of other people as well. They understand what the designation is. So is he then quantified as a hoe because he's clearly stating what his intentions are?
I feel like we were all under that impression. Yeah. I'm saying it depends on like what you're looking at. Because you're saying does body count matter? I'm saying it just depends on how we're looking at it. Because
why does it matter?
Because again, it's like well, do they just care more about having sex than being finally settling down?
Some people don't find fulfillment in relationships.
That's literally what I mean. It's like does body count matter? Body count would only really matter to you if you're looking to settle down with somebody. Mm-hmm. I don't think that would matter if you're.
But why would it matter if you settle down with somebody?
What you just said. They're not really looking for.
No, I'm saying why would body count matter if you were trying to settle down?
because you don't. I'm saying like if I was like, man, like they're really attractive, like I've gone out with them a few times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, oh, I think I might want to get a serious relationship with them.
Okay.
And then they're like, well, you know, I've only been active with like X and Y amount of people, and they're like, well, I've been active with X, Y, Z, A, B, C, and all the way to another ZZ kind of people. It's like, like, well, are you sure that you're really looking for getting into a relationship right now? That's what I mean.
So the amount of sex that they have, or the amount of people they have sex with, kind of qualifies if they want to be in a relationship or not.
It's sort of like it's like a third variable where it's like, are you sure you want to get into a relationship right now with one person for like the rest of your life? Like if we're assuming,
but again,
we're assuming that this is a monogamous relationship.
But again, the body count is something that occurs in the past. It's not something that's a current mindset.
You feel like nothing in your past affects what's going on in your life right now?
I'm saying that your current mindset is a different from your past mindset. So you may be like, I'm in a mode where like you said, it's a whole phase where you're saying that I'm just trying to fuck with people right now. But then you get to a point where like I'm done with fucking with people.
But I'm saying, how do you know they're ever at that point?
Because
how can you really tell if somebody's at that point? Like I'm done.
But again, you can't. Like there's no such thing as you having full on transparency because but they'll show you that they're looking for something different. It's more they can't. Them telling you is not gonna make you feel like, okay, yeah, he's being serious or she's being serious. It's more so like they have to show you it. And like if they're a good person, they'll be fine. It's not a matter of, I don't think I'll like look at them like, oh, you had sex with so many people. I'm kind of doubtful. It's like, no, I'm gonna take you at your word. But if something occurs that goes against what you're saying to me, I'm gonna take note of it. And if it happens again, okay, I'm gonna cut it off.
As long as both parties have a mutual understanding
of what's
going on, I think it's fine.
Exactly.
In my opinion.
Like I can accept that you had sex with this many people, like even though I'm that kind of person, I really don't care. But if someone is capable of understanding, okay, you had sex with this many people, I had sex with people who are like a substantially lower amount of people, and I'm cool with that. And I'm cool with that.
If someone's telling you, I'm like, oh, you're pretty freaky then.
I mean, I like the one with experience, you know.
That's what I'm saying. I'll just be like, oh,
helps
okay,
things
cool.
out a little bit better, you know?
I'll just be like, oh, okay, cool. And to be honest, at the beginning of the relationship,
that's why I literally said it depends because like really like you're talking about every single person, how they kind of see things and how they kind of feel about things. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like well, they're ready to settle down. It's like, how do you really know that they're willing to settle down?
Mm-hmm.
You know, those kind of things. It wasn't really like, oh, this is how I personally feel. I'm just saying like it's a lot of things that involve that. This is like multiple variables.
Gotcha. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that at the beginning of a relationship, it's not even really based off. It can be based off emotions, based upon if you've known a person, if you've known a person prior to that. But initially, nowadays, it's more so based off of initial attraction. Then you understand them on the personal level and emotional level.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
So, like, what do you?
Ugly people be fucking.
What?
I said ugly people. They be fucking. Ugly people. They be getting in relationships.
Again.
And
I was gonna say is you don't find them attractive, but to them it's like, oh, I find him attractive, even though in societal standards.
Well, no, not like that. Like, oh, she got to be like some skinny petite girl, anything like that. But what I mean is like, like previously, in humans it was like, you need somebody who's thick because they could bear children or whatever. But like as like things have advanced in medicine, it's like, well, she don't gotta be thick. She can be skinny. She don't gotta be the fittest. She can be big because bigger the better the better. And like what I'm saying is like now like it doesn't really matter like what they look like because you can sort of like get to know people in a different way. You can fuck them a different way.
All I'm gonna say is I prefer it thick.
It is freaky, dude.
Let's get this way: big ass or big titties?
Oh my god. This is like
ass, bro.
It's ass easily. Why the fuck is this a conversation? Why is this a conversation?
It's not even competition.
I told somebody. I said if you say titties, it's because you're young. You're too young to understand this. You're a kid. I said, but once you become an adult, you become an ass man.
I don't know.
And my friends,
I think it's just a matter of society standards again. It's like a matter of like what society tells you.
But also like cultural shit too.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's a matter of cultural like heritage. Well, not cultural heritage, but like cultural traits, and also a matter of like societal
bro, like
those things.
Like even like minorities in general, fucking, we already know, bro. As is all the way.
Yeah, we can like us. But what I'm saying is like, in previous generations, Americans have switched to saying like, oh, a woman with a big breast is attractive, one more big ass is attractive. So now in the '90s, a big ass was like smaller compared to what a big ass is today. So it's like, what is a big ass in today's society?
Wait, what? Wait.
Like,
Wait. Oh, damn. I was like sort of hearing this, and I was like, that's kind of okay. Didn't think you were gonna go there with that. I mean, that's a good question though. I mean, that's actually a really good question. It's like, is a big ass like in proportion to their body, or is it like just like a whole magnitude of size that you're looking at? That's
exactly.
Interesting.
Because in the '90s, a big ass was just like, okay, it's a standard size. It's like,
yeah, no, I understand.
Standard size ass.
I'm like that's a good question. I mean,
they're all stumped. they're both stumped. They're like, oh shit.
Natural.
If it what? If it looks natural.
I'm fucking.
If it looks natural, I'm fucking. But again, that comes to the thing where it's like,
I mean, I mean, she don't gotta have like some big dump truck ass or something. Like,
just,
I mean,
I
like,
get what you're saying.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, you're like, what's big? It's like, well, she don't gotta have like. I mean,
she don't need to have a fucking Black China shit or anything, bro. Hell no.
So you're talking like some improportionate shit.
That's
Basically.
nasty. They got that diaper. They got that. They got like that queen butt. It's like, I mean, that queen ant butt was like super huge. You got like a tiny ass body.
Okay, so this brings me to like another interesting question. Like, does somebody changing their appearance like significantly?
Yes. I wouldn't date somebody who's changed their body because I feel like if you don't love yourself enough, how you gonna love me?
But it's not necessarily a matter. So what if you change your body? It's not necessarily a matter of you not.
Circumcision don't count.
Okay, I'm saying what is the? I'm saying
because that's just the usual. I mean, like, are we considering like piercings and tattoos, or are we talking? Like,
I'm more so talking about like BBLs and all that shit.
I'll say this: I've met some girls who I think are attractive.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I've gained some weight. I'm thinking about getting BBL.
Okay.
I'm like, I wonder what it looks like on her.
so again, that brings me to my point is like, I think a woman, of
well,
course.
I mean, first of all, I'll say this: like, when it comes to like weight,
Mm-hmm.
let's exclude weight. Weight's kind of like complex because there are like certain problems that people have with their body.
Yeah.
You know, the typical American diet, it's kind of like hard to lose weight at certain points. I would say exclude that. Talk about like cosmetic surgeries, like nose jobs, lip fillers.
That's what I'm talking about.
I was just say, I would consider that stuff. It's like because you're always saying something wrong with you, and that's like how can you hold a relationship with someone like that? Because that is a huge problem for your partner to have. I would say.
But again, what I'm saying is, the choice to change your appearance is like the choice to change your appearance is up to you. So like if a woman feels that she would look better with a bigger butt or with maybe like a straighter nose or whatever, that's up to her. And what I'm also trying to say is like, what if it's not a matter of her feeling unattractive? It's a matter of her saying that I think I'm attractive, but what if I had this other thing as well that made me a little bit more attractive? And like, is it up to you to say no, you can't do that because you're perfect the way you are, or would you be like, okay, well,
if I date somebody and they're like, hey, I want to get a cosmetic surgery? I mean, I wouldn't. I wouldn't really be able to say much. It's like that's how you feel. Like if you feel like you are attractive, there's something you want to change. Fine.
Okay.
My whole thing was they were like ass or titties. I'm like, yo, get you a girl with a nice ass, buy her some titties.
Okay, bro. Okay, so that brings me to like
but like people who are like they want to do like that Ken doll shit or they want to turn themselves.
No, that's just too much. But
that's what I'm saying. Like people who like they just don't see themselves as like a decent human being.
I was more so going towards like the white people who think they're black, like the Kardashians.
Wait, we were going there, goddamn.
I was talking about because like more like Kim K.
Like,
and
would I date like Kim K and Chloe?
Well, I wasn't even asking that.
I'm just like asking.
I was more so talking about like, are these women people you find attractive, or are they just people like okay? He said it quick as hell.
I don't know why.
I get it. I'm just
she's
saying.
Pretty. I don't know why, but I think she is. I like in her face or like upper body wise. I think Kim Kardashian is like pretty.
Yeah, I think she's pretty before the surgery. But
exactly.
But what I'm saying is like
Kylie.
It create.
You love Kylie. That's why I said her name. You love Kylie.
Okay, get off my fucking case. What I'm saying is that it also goes towards like these white women who are mirroring black women's bodies, and so then it kind of creates the controversy of like, why do black men find these white women attractive, who are just copying black women's bodies or Hispanic people's bodies? So it's like you can just have Hispanic women who have the same thing, or you could just have black women who have the same kind of curvature and the same kind of body type. And it's not a matter of me saying that. Oh, it's not. It's really not a matter of me saying, oh, Kylie's like the most beautiful woman in the world because she's white and she has this. It's more so like she's a pretty girl. But Beyonce is also that pretty girl. There's also Rihanna. There's also these Lupita Nyong'o. There's also these other beautiful women that I have sex with. Who I find attractive with as well.
Well, I like how you brought up Lupita. Like, what you be like, yo, she's fine. It really just depends, like, per person. Because there are sometimes I'm like, man, she's fine. People be like, I don't know if I really see what you're saying. Or I'm like, man, I'm like, she alright. And you be like, bro,
yeah, because
remember that one girl that I showed you, that one white girl. And I was like, this is my girlfriend. I was dating the Asian girl, and I was like, this is that white girl.
Oh yeah.
To. And I was like, she alright. And you were like, bro, what?
I really, because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. To me, I was like,
you know what's wrong with that girl? She had no ass.
But I didn't see that. All I saw was her face. I was like, oh, her face looks better than. But I was gonna say that to you because it's your girlfriend. I'm not gonna respect your girlfriend like that.
You just said that, nigga?
No, nigga, I'm not gonna say. So a friend says your girlfriend is ugly, my nigga. You should have chose the other bitch.
You would have said, I think this girl is more attractive from what I see right now than your girlfriend, which is completely.
But again,
my opinion.
But I
you
would
didn't say she was ugly. You were just like, I think that girl is more attractive.
Yeah.
That was it. It wasn't like, oh, your girlfriend ugly as hell. Why would you be with her? You didn't say that.
No, I wouldn't say that.
No, that's what I mean.
You got on my ass when I brought that one girl over here.
Oh yeah, there's this one girl he was talking to.
Wait, how long has he been your roommate?
He's been my roommate since this year. He's been
this year?
Since not 2021, but like
2020, like
2020.
Year?
Yeah.
Oh, what about your other roommates?
My other roommates, they moved out. They moved somewhere else. I got some other shit.
You talking about that one? They be like, they always bringing up these ugly white girls or something like that. I thought that's what you were gonna go with.
No, but he was talking to this one girl, and then like when he brought her over, he's like she kept prior to me meeting her, he'd always say she's cool. I was like, oh, she's cute. He's cool. She's cool. And then when he brought her over, I was like, dude, she's very, very fucking attractive. I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, I kind of see it now. I was like, I didn't see that before. I was like, I kind of see it now. I didn't see it before. I was like, yeah.
You need validation from somebody else? You're like, okay,
but in his defense, he said he only saw her one time before that, and he only
looked once, and she was wearing a mask.
Yeah, and he only glanced at her. But again,
yo, the masks be changing how girls look. I was like, damn. And she took off her mask. I was like, oh, damn. These masks be.
Put your mask back on.
This shit's the new catfish, man. These are the new filters.
I get you saying. So like back to my original point, it was like, is there something wrong with like
I'll say this: I don't understand why white people love to do the tanning stuff.
Because
I would definitely love to ask them because I don't know, like, does that provide some sort of benefit to them, or is it just like, or is that like just only attraction thing? Like, does it?
I think it has to do with them.
Well, let me add one more thing real quick.
Okay.
Bodybuilders, like girls who go to competitions and like they show off their muscles.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, those girls be like pretty pale. You know, they be more pale than you, but they'll put on some tan and they're like close to ours, and I'm like, why is that like? Why is that a thing at all?
I think it's the pill that they think the skin looks better if it's darker. They understand that our skin looks better than theirs.
And then plus their muscle.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
it can show better muscle definition.
Exactly.
So it's also a competition thing.
But it's also a thing where it's like we can engage in some things that are black without being designated as being black. We can have the skin without going through the same shit that they go through.
Oh, I thought we were going somewhere else. And I'm like, yeah, man, like watermelon and chicken is delicious. I don't know why everybody associates that with the black thing.
This nigga
who doesn't like this?
This nigga's on his Dave Chappelle shit.
Exactly.
He said,
everybody just always brings this up. Like it's like
everybody likes watermelon chicken. If you don't, something is wrong with you.
Someone's like, Kool-Aid isn't that good. Kool-Aid's delicious.
It is.
You just gotta put a lot of sugar in it.
Definitely.
We gotta know how much sugar. It's like other things. I'm like, oh, that's black people this, black people that. It's like, who doesn't like this? It's like hip hop is black people music. Who doesn't like hip hop?
Yeah.
Everybody who's.
But I was more so leaning into. I was like more so trying to focus on the issue of colorism and racism and like the realm of women. So like, how do you feel about white women who try to like? Do you believe that white women are trying to mirror? I believe there are some white women who would definitely try to be black,
Yeah.
but or Hispanic. But is it a matter of them? Is it wrong to find those women attractive, or is it wrong to find out? Because again, I find all races
It's interesting.
because again, I find all races attractive, but it's like it's not a. I don't even necessarily like think of having a big ass or as a black thing. I'm also just thinking, okay, I like big ass.
Yeah. Honestly, probably when you meet a certain girl like that, you're not really thinking.
I'm not thinking about her race.
About what?
About like the race.
Of course, I acknowledge. Of course,
You're
I
just
know
looking
that.
at the ass. That's all you.
Of course, I'm like, okay, exactly.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm not. Of course, I'm.
I mean, I kind of did assume
of
having
course,
ass was like minorities.
like of course, I'm aware of the cultural differences. If she's like somebody who's Hispanic or somebody who's white, from my
You
perspective.
trying to tell us you dating a white girl?
Huh?
You trying to tell us you dating a white girl?
I'll date anybody who's a different race. Like I'll date anybody, black, white, whatever. I don't really care what your race is.
It was a joke, but you took it a little bit more serious. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a joke. I'm just putting it out there in case somebody is saying like, oh, you only date this kind of people or this kind of people. I don't really fucking care what your race is. I understand that there's certain stigmas and things that will go along with dating other people of different races.
I mean, if it's like in regards to what other people think, that shit's annoying because somebody was like, oh, Javon don't date white girls. I've just happened to never date a white girl, but there's never been anything to suggest I wouldn't. The only time there were no white girls at my high school, and when they were, I was a senior and they were a freshman. To me, they're fucking kids.
Yeah.
And like the other time was like when they were at my grade was like middle school, and puberty didn't come in during middle school, so I wasn't really attractive at that point. I was, unattractive. So that's kind of different.
But
they're
I was
like,
also saying that I guess what I'm trying to say is like, should you place priority on dating somebody in your own race? Because then it becomes this thing of like, how come you can find somebody like her in your own race, or somebody who has the same kind of body type and the same kind of personality and all that shit in your own race?
I don't know. I'll be honest. I be thinking about that stuff all the time, and I'm like, man, like, am I supposed to date a black person?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, because is it a bad thing if I don't? Because I'll be honest, this is like nothing like I just go out of my way and choose. I tend to date a lot of Hispanic girls.
I get you.
I don't have any strong preference over another. I've seen some fine Asian girls. I mean, my girlfriend was thick. I've seen some fine Asian girls, Indian girls, certain European countries. I've seen some fine Russian girls. Whatever. I've seen some fine Native American girls too.
But again,
I've never been like, oh man, like I only need to date one. But I've sort of thought like, is it bad if I date other ones?
No, but what I'm saying
for me, I have a preference. I have like Hispanics. That's my main preference. But either way,
I get what you're saying. I don't have a racial preference. I don't know why. I think
babies are kind of racist, but I said babies are kind of racist. Like babies, they associate like caregiving with skin color that they see.
I get
because
that.
it's a survival mechanism. And it's like if I'm black and I'm dating a white lady, right? Or whatever, someone who doesn't have similar in mind, right? And like she at her nursing home, he maybe gonna like her, but he gonna be looking at me like, who's this nigga? You know what I mean? So I feel like like looking at it that way is like whenever you like have like a whole family and stuff like that, I guess that kind of matters. But then I'm thinking of that in like a whole scientific way.
I'm thinking more so like, is there something is having a racial preference like a matter of you being racist, or is it a matter of just like
I would say racial preferences. If somebody was like, I remember like I have a white coworker. He was like, I don't find black women attractive, and I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. But in my head, I was like, what? Black women are the best. What is he talking about? I was in my head, but I was like, that's fair. But I feel like if you're like, oh, I want these type of women, I'd be like, that's kind of weird. Cause like fetishizing, like especially like with Asians, I'd be like, that's weird. Like my friend sent me some video. He's like, I want me a Japanese snack, and I was like,
I get you.
Well, the whole video was a Japanese girl saying Japanese snacks you should try, and she was like me, and I was like, you're weird if you're saying that you want a Japanese snack like that. He was like, I was like, that's weird. He was like, you dated a whole Asian girl, bitch. I'm like,
I didn't have a fetish.
I didn't call her a whole Korean snack. I have before, but that's before I realized like that was like something that was wrong.
Yeah.
Because I was younger at that time. Like middle school type shit. But then I feel like if you were like, I gotta date this one race. Like, you're a white lady who's like, oh, I only date black men. It's like,
Yeah, that's
I
weird.
feel like
that's very weird to me.
I feel like that's sort of like out of like fetish.
Exactly, it's like, it's a fetish rather than like a true attraction.
Like for me, exactly, true attraction. I was like, for me, like it's just out of attraction. For me, I have like certain personalities that I like, and they happen to come with thick girls.
Get you.
The next one is she ain't so thick. She's more.
Yeah, I got you.
What is it called? Well endowed from the top or something?
Busty?
Well, I mean, yeah, that too. But I was gonna say like this one is.
You said well endowed at the top.
Yeah, because somebody said it to me once, and I was like, that's fucking hilarious. And then like other girls. Well, there's another girl. I think she's also Hispanic. She's cute.
Yeah, but I don't care what the fuck your race is. I understand if I happen to like get with a black girl and I happen like to marry that black girl. It's like, okay, good. This is great because you understand what I could go through and I understand what you could go through. Like we both understand that perfectly.
That's kind of different.
But it's not. That's the thing. That's what people are kind of like.
Imagine if you ran into like Hillary from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She might not exactly understand where you're coming from.
I mean, more so like you understand I can go like the racial things that I can understand.
You understand the struggle, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
not even necessarily the struggle.
I was gonna say like
it's more so like you understand what things going along in my culture, but you also understand like the risk that things that I can encounter out in the outside world.
I was gonna say like I think now in like 2021.
What's that?
I was gonna say I think like now with things in 2021, I mean white people hate blacks, Asians, Muslims, technically Middle Eastern, Indians, and Hispanics equally. I mean I feel like they get. I'm not saying like we're all like one faces more discrimination than the other, because some do. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
But I feel like they kind of got the gist of it, and minorities be out here struggling. So I feel like they kind of have that same perception. Like, oh, we having it hard too. You have it hard. All right.
You talking about like other minorities besides?
Yeah, other minorities.
Gotcha. So like, what were you about to say?
I forgot.
I was waiting for you to like add.
Well, for me, it's mostly like Hispanic girls.
Would you date a black girl?
Huh?
Would you date a black girl?
Yeah.
Would you date a white girl?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay, but it's a matter. That's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Dating is one thing.
Yeah.
Marriage is another. Would you marry a black girl? That's the thing.
I was putting dating synonymous with like getting in relationships.
Yeah, getting a relationship. Yeah, you can have a relationship, but once you get married, it's like this is a thing
I kind of felt like we were talking about like dating.
We weren't
getting in a relationship and hoping that relationship leads to marriage. So I kind of thought that was like all in the same realm of it. My bad.
I was mostly talking about like but that can count as anything. I'm saying like once you get married though, it's like this thing where like you are becoming part of somebody's family. Yeah. So like this thing though.
Oh, we're including family and shit.
Because
I only want Hispanic then.
Huh?
I only want Hispanic.
You only want Hispanic?
Yeah, because their families are amazing though.
What about?
They always be treating me like they be treating me like they only.
But what about black girls and like white girls and all the other shit?
What about them?
So you wouldn't wait. So you wouldn't marry a black girl?
They wouldn't be my primary choice.
Wow, this is interesting.
I've honestly never had like another black girl's family like treated me like a human being.
This is interesting.
Like when I dated the what's it called girl? Bro, her dad, he's Hispanic. Bro, he was like great to me. He would really treat me like I'm a whole like son. Some kind of thing. He took us.
That's why I'm getting into. That's why for me it's like
we had a whole backyard barbecue. And it was like Jay Vaughn, try this. They would take us top dog.
Okay, so I'm saying is like
for me, it's a moment is like comfortable.
Oh, but I was just saying like if we were talking about like including family, like once we're marrying into a family, Hispanic families have always treated me great. So if I was to be like, yo, I want to be treated nice by family, I'm including that.
Okay, I can take your opinion and understand it. So like you confirm that you're saying that you'd be comfortable being a member of like another race or family, like another.
Yeah.
Like
honestly, I wanted to marry a Native girl.
Oh what?
A Native girl, Native American woman.
Okay.
Indigenous woman. Because
so like
they're also very nice.
I get what you're saying. So like, from your perspective, would you marry somebody of a different race, and like, would you be willing to like let that in your family? Because I'm not trying to get on your case.
Yeah.
But I understand that your mom kind of has this thing where she's like, you should have this kind of woman or this kind of woman, and you have your own kind of thing where you're like, okay, I prefer Hispanic girl, but I wouldn't mind dating that person, other people of other races.
Yeah.
Are we including our family's preference or like the other person?
That as well. Because I understand from my perspective, my mom is always doing this thing where like, she's like she jokes with me about like, yeah, you should date a black girl, but she's more she's always doing that shit. But she's more so like, well, whoever you bring home, I'll accept her. She doesn't really care. But she's always joking with me like, yeah, you should But she's saying, but I know that deep down she's like, she prefer
Yeah,
if I had a
I
black
get
girl.
what you mean. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, for me, cause like I don't know, I would date someone from a different race,
Mhm.
but when it comes to marriage, it's just like I don't know, it's like
It's a matter of how your family accepts. Like,
yeah, no
gotcha.
way.
I understand that.
And then plus, it's like I really wanted to stay like have a Hispanic wife because like
Mhm.
I know what's gonna go. I know so I'm able to
You're used to that kind of lifestyle
Yeah.
and culture, so you want to kind of stick with.
yeah, I want to
with.
stick with that
Mhm.
in a way, and I also want to preserve my Hispanic heritage with my kids as well,
Gotcha.
the culture in a way.
Respectable.
That's a good answer. I understand that. From my perspective, it's more so this thing where like, I feel like I can maintain
The
my.
hardest. My bad, bro.
You-
We're
you-
gonna
you-
go. But the one thing I will hesitate is probably white people. Probably.
Yeah,
Practice.
that's it.
Probably white people.
I understand that.
Not to be racist, but like
I get what you're saying.
I've been to
that's not racist at all.
I've been to like a white wedding party.
Oh, when Soldier Boy had that interview with the Breakfast Club.
Oh yeah,
Like
the
the
crackers.
crackers.
He just said it randomly.
I
Like,
like,
damn.
why keep saying that? I love that.
Yeah. But I feel like from my perspective, it's more so like, if I marry a black girl, I'll be able to I'll be able to understand what it means to be a black woman, what it means to be a black man, and I'll get that, yeah, and I'll get to like have that influence on my own black child. But again, no matter who I marry, I'll still end up having a black child. I'll still have somebody who's gonna and possibly endure the same things that I have to endure as a black man. So it's a matter of like, I feel like I'll be able to impart my own cultural like heritage. But if I have somebody from outside of another race, or somebody from another race, I'll be like, okay, you can add your own stuff to there. You can add your own stuff to my kid as well.
White people don't really be having heritage like that though. I said white people don't really.
No, I'm not saying necessarily white people. I'm just saying like anybody outside my race, like Hispanic.
I'm including
Asian.
them, but I'm saying white people don't really.
Yeah, they don't
culture
have
like
they don't
that.
have culture.
They kind of blend.
It's just the same shit.
Bro, have you been to a fucking white wedding, bro? That shit's like
I've never been to one though.
oh. So,
But what I'm saying is like,
I've avoided so many. I've avoided, yeah.
but I don't necessarily have a racial preference when it comes to like whoever I marry to whoever I marry. Even if I don't even know if I want to get married. If I get married, of course, whatever.
Likewise, being a part of somebody else's family, it doesn't really matter. I'm cool with it. I'm just saying, Hispanic families have always treated me great so far.
I understand that.
All the fathers specifically, they're always cool. And usually you be like, man, you need a girl. Her father, he gonna hate you. And never have one Hispanic girl for me. In my family, I don't have the same experience as you guys, so I can't really say much.
Gotcha. So like, I guess the question I want to ask is like, the root of the question is like, would your families be okay with you having like a marriage or a serious relationship with somebody outside your race? Would they be like, okay? Of course, I know how Irish would be. They were like, you should have had somebody black.
Well, wait, that's what I was gonna say. My family is like multi-race.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So if I show you certain people in my family, like, oh, she's black.
Yeah,
she's white.
yours is multiracial.
Oh, she's native, but she looks Mexican. Like, you'd be like, oh, she's Mexican. I'm like, no, she's
Native American.
She's native.
Yeah.
Don't say that in front of her. She'll right, those kind of things. So my family, they really don't have a choice because they're all the same way. They're like, I like you, I like you.
My family is like primarily black though, so it has this thing where it's like you should date somebody black.
My family's like half and half.
Gotcha.
They're like
mine is full Hispanic.
Yes.
I'm immigrant, so
I know that. So I'm saying is like
they're like 45 black, 45 white, and then whatever else remaining out of 100 is native.
Gotcha. So like that's the thing, like would your I know. Okay, so you're saying your family would be okay with you dating anybody?
One, they would naturally would, but also they would.
Okay. So would your family be okay with you dating someone and taking them seriously with anybody?
yeah,
Okay.
obviously.
Okay, I'm just asking because it's different. Because there's this
When
thing
they
where,
have a preference, yeah, they do.
Exactly.
But that reminds me, I gotta text my cousin.
because there's also this thing where it's like
He's native.
because there's also
Whenever we go to like restaurants, like Mexican restaurants, I would always make fun of him for that. And then I remember this one, I would always call him Mexican.
oh wow.
Not like in a racist way.
I know what you mean.
But I remember we went to a Mexican restaurant and somebody was like, "Hey, what's going on, man?" And I just made a joke about him recently like that. And I was like, "See, I knew it." He was like, "No, we went to high school together."
He's like, "Fuck you, bro."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the thing where it's like
This is what one of them looks like.
the one on the left.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
the dude.
Gotcha.
That's what he looks like.
So but also as I'm saying is like Your family could be cool with you having friends of outside of the race, but it's a difference between you having somebody who's going to be part of a family. Because like your parents are cool, we're friends, so they don't really care.
Yeah.
But it's different between you just having a black friend and then you having a black girlfriend or a boyfriend who's going to be in your family, or if you have a white, but you get like let's say you happen to get with a white girl, it'd be like.
You don't want to date no white girl. She ain't never gonna season your tacos right.
I know.
She ain't never gonna put
But
the
before, but prior to
Bro, I
this,
can't even fucking cook.
but prior to this, he kind of did have a thing where not necessarily where he had like a fetish for white girls, but like thing like he's saying, "I would date a white girl." That's what he it's kind of like what he imparted towards towards me.
I've never dated a white girl, but I don't have anything in me that's like I gotta date a white girl.
No, I don't necessarily have that thing either. No, I just have this thing where like whoever I'm vibing with at the moment.
I wonder if I
Cool.
would date a white girl, and not like would I like oh like I'm good. Like, when I date a white girl, it's just like would there anything happen in my life where I would start dating a white girl? I wonder.
He's like, I had to go through a whole fucking trial to see how the fuck I'm gonna do this shit.
Well, I mean, it's just like the opportunity has never presented itself. Besides that one girl, but
He's like, do I need a PS5 at this moment?
not lying, man.
I'm fucking with you, dude. Yeah, but that was an interesting conversation.
Yeah, I'm taking the PS5 only. Yo, it's your boy Playboy J here. Tomorrow we're going to be dropping the last part of this podcast, but stay tuned because we still got a lot more stuff coming up. So, peace.